A maximum speed of a car and a road turn on radius 40 meter if the coefficient of friction between the tire and road is 0.5 will be. Here they are asking in a circular path. A car is moving in a circular path. Here it's a car, it is moving in a circular path. When an object moves in a circular path, a force acts there. That is outward force, that is centripetal force act there. That is, it is an outward force. Centripetal force, mv square divided by r. And also, when a centripetal force moves in outward direction, some force is created in this direction, that is known as frictional force. Okay, this frictional force acts between the tire and the road, and the car does not slip here. And when the speed of the car increases here, the frictional forces also increases. Now I am drawing a diagram here. This is a car and frictional forces in this direction, and centripetal force act in the opposite direction. This is centripetal force. Okay. Now this is a car. It having upward force as well as downward force. It is due to the acceleration due to gravity. That is, weight is equal to mass into acceleration due to gravity. So upward force is normal force, normal reaction, and this is known as downward force. So I am saying here upward force is equal to downward force. So outward force is N and downward force is mg. And also the when a car takes a turn, there is a two force act here. One is outward direction, centripetal force, and another force is known as inward. It is a frictional force, and frictional force is equal to here centripetal force. And we will write the frictional force as mu into N. N is nothing but normal reaction, and mu is the coefficient of static friction. This is mu, and N is the normal reaction. It is equal to the frictional centripetal force. Centripetal force formula is mv square divided by r. mv square divided by r. And here we know that N is equal to mg. So mu, yes, this is nothing but static force, and this is mg is equal to mv square divided by r. Here m get cancelled, and our aim is to find the maximum speed of the car. V max, we need to find V max. If we increase the speed of the car, the frictional forces also increases, and the car moves in the circular path. So V max we want to find here. So V max is equal to, here square is equal to mu s g into r. This can be now written as V max is equal to root of mu s g r. Now they given the value of mu s, that is a coefficient of friction, they given the value as 0.5. So 0.5, acceleration due to gravity is 9.8, and the radius, they given the radius, this is the radius of the circular path r. Radius, they given the radius value as 40. Okay, taking square root, now if you are multiplying this one, you will get 196. Taking square root, you will get the answer as 14 meter per second. This is the maximum speed of the car when it turns in a circular path. So the option 3 is the correct one. A charge on two identical metal balls Q and 3Q, they are kept at same distance after initial contact. What is the ratio of the initial to the final force? So they are saying here, taking a charge as Q and another charge as 3Q. Okay, 3Q. Now first at initial force Initial force, we know that according to the Coulomb law, force is equal to Q1 Q2 divided by 4 pi epsilon naught r square. This is Coulomb law. Here they given the charges in Q and Q2 as 3Q. So we can write here F is equal to Q into 3Q divided by 4 pi epsilon naught r square. And this force can be initial force. This is initial force. This force can be written as 3Q square divided by 4 pi epsilon naught r square. Okay. So what is the initial force now? Initial force is equal to 3Q square. I am taking the initial force as F. Okay. So 3Q square divided by 4 pi epsilon naught r square. Now second case, we need to find the final force, that is charge on each sphere, when it is in contact. So here again I am going to take these two charges Q as well as 3Q, Q as well as 3Q. Here we kept the two charges in contact. So if you are keeping the two charges in contact, then the charges will be splitted into equal amount. So this Q plus 3Q, it is split into equal amount. Q plus 3Q is equal to 4Q. So one charge must be now 2Q and another charge must be 2Q when it is kept in contact with each other. So each charge, we are representing here each charge. So each charge is 2Q. Now apply in this formula, I am going to take at final contact as F1 is equal to, Q1 is nothing but 2Q. Each charge is 2Q. So 2Q into 2Q divided by 4 pi epsilon naught r square. So the final contact is F1 is equal to 4Q square divided by 4 pi epsilon naught r square. Our aim is to find the ratio of initial to the final force. So initial force, we took the initial force as F and final force as F1. So this can be written as now, what is the initial force? 3Q square divided by 4 pi epsilon naught r square divided by 4Q square divided by 4 pi epsilon naught r square. Now this get cancelled, this Q get cancelled. Now initial to the final force is 3 by 4. So the option is here 3:4, number 1. A ball is thrown at an angle 60 degree from the ground. It grows to its maximum height in 10 seconds. What is the projected velocity of the object? So here a ball is thrown from the ground at an angle of 60 degree. Now this is the ground. So it is thrown at an angle of here 60 degree. And it grows to its maximum height in 10 seconds. So this is the maximum height. So it grows in, this is the maximum height, 10 seconds. T, small t is equal to 10 seconds. So this space is known as now 10 seconds. Now, what is the projected velocity of an object? We need to find what is the projected velocity, u. What is the u value? We know that the time of flight, will represent the symbol as time of flight as t. Time of flight is nothing but initial to the final distance. What is the distance? That is known as time of flight. So this distance is 10s, and what must be this one? This is also 10s. So the time of flight must be 10 plus 10 is equal to 20 seconds. This is 10 seconds and this must be 10 seconds. So time of flight is 20 seconds. So time of flight T is equal to 20 seconds. Now we know the formula for the time of flight. T is equal to 2 sin theta divided by G. And here our aim is to calculate what is the initial velocity U. So 2 into U sin 60 degree. And they given the G acceleration due to gravity as 10 meter per second, and time of flight we are getting 20 second. Now from this we can calculate what is the projected velocity. U is equal to 20 into 10 divided by 2 into sin 30 is root 3 by 2. We know that root 3 is equal to 1.732. So on substituting this value, you will get U is equal to 20 into 10 divided by this 2, I am taking in the numerator 2 into 1.73 is equal to, when you are substituting this value, you will get the projected velocity as 115.5 meter per second. So the option 2 is the correct one.
When the chemical reaction of the cell is reversed. In the Daniell cell, this is zinc rod, zinc sulfate solution, dipped in a zinc sulfate solution. Here is a copper rod which is dipped in a copper sulfate solution. This is a salt bridge. These two rods are connected by ammometer. Here there is an external opposing EMF is applied. This is a general Daniell cell. Here when in the case of opposing EMF is less than that of cell, here the electrons flows from zinc to copper. So here the reaction is forward, the current flows from opposite direction. In the case of the opposing EMF is greater than that of cell, the current flows from copper to zinc in the direction of opposite. So the reaction is reversed when the opposing EMF is greater than that of cell. So the option 3 is correct. Opposing EMF is greater than that of cell. That is the correct answer. Calculate the molarity of a solution containing 3 gram of sodium hydroxide in 150 ml solution. First we have to know what is molarity. Molarity is nothing but moles of a solute in a volume of solution in liters. Molarity, which is represented by capital M, which is equal to moles of solute by volume of solution in liter. First we have to calculate the moles of solute. Here the solute is sodium hydroxide. So moles of NaOH is, the formula for calculate the mole is weight by molecular weight. Here the weight, they are giving the weight 3 gram. The molecular weight is 40 gram per mole. So, when we solving this, we get 0.075 mole. Then we have to find volume of solution in liter. Volume of solution in liter. They are giving the volume 150 ml in liter. So, we have to divide by 1000 ml per liter. We apply these values in the formula. 0.075 divided by 150 ml here mole into 1000 ml per liter. When we solve this, we get 0.5 mole per liter. So, the answer is option 2. Which of the given unit is useful in relating the concentration with its vapor pressure? In the first option, they are giving molarity. Molarity means that is nothing but moles of the solute divided by the volume of solution in liter. Molarity is moles of solute divided by volume of solution in liter. Solution in liter. So, this is not a relation between vapor pressure. In third option, parts per million, ppm. ppm means parts per million means number of components, number of parts of components by total number of parts of all components in the solution. All components in the solution. In the solution into 10 to the power 6. It is parts per million. Here also there is no relation with concentration with vapor pressure. So, this is also wrong. In option 4, molality. Molality means moles of solute divided by mass of solvent in kg. Here also there is no relation between concentration and vapor pressure. So, this is also wrong. So, in the case of mole fraction, first we have to know Rowlett's law. For a solution of this law states that for a solution of volatile liquids, the partial vapor pressure that is directly proportional to its mole fraction. So, the correct option is option 2, mole fraction.
Which plant hormone is responsible for the promotion of female flowers in cucumbers? So, you have to specifically know which hormone is responsible for the female flower production in cucumber, whether it is auxin, abscisic acid, ethylene or cytokinin. So, the answer is ethylene. Specifically, you have to know this answer, ethylene. So, apart from this, auxin. So, auxin will induce parthenocarpy. Parthenocarpy means seedless fruits in tomato, and also it will promote flowering in pineapple, and also it will used as a herbicides. Abscisic acid. Abscisic acid will inhibit the seed germinations, and also it will induce dormancy and closure of stomata. By promoting the closure of stomata, it can give ability to the plants to withstand stress. So that's why abscisic acid is also known as stress hormone. You have to know this. Cytokinin, fruit ripening, it will promote fruit ripening and also cell division. Cyto means division, cell divisions. So it will breaks the seed and bud dormancy. You have to know plant growth regulators. These are the organic substances produced by the plants in a very small quantities and transported to the different parts of the plant for the growth and metabolism. Usually they are classified as natural and synthetic. In natural also there is plant growth promoters. It will promote the growth of the plant, and growth inhibitors. The name itself tells it will inhibit the growth of the plants. These are auxin, gibberellin and cytokinin are plant growth promoters. Ethylene and abscisic acid are growth inhibitors. There is also some synthetic plant growth regulators. NAA, 2,4-D, 2,4,5-T. These are all synthetic form of plant growth regulators. So ethylene, you have to know some other points related to ethylene. It will stimulate the respiration and ripening in fruits, and also it breaks the dormancy of buds, seeds and storage organs. Also it induces the leaves to shed prematurely. Inhibition of the stem elongation is the result of ethylene. So growth of the lateral roots and root hairs also promoted by ethylene, and ethylene normally reduces the flowering in plants except in pineapple and mango. Assertion: magnesium is absorbed by plants in the form of magnesium 2+. The given reason is magnesium 2+ is involved in the synthesis of nucleic acid, that is RNA and DNA. So before we are getting into the options, you have to know what is magnesium. Usually magnesium is a macronutrient which is essential for the plant growth and metabolism. Usually magnesium is present in the plant tissues in large amounts. Other than this, it is absorbed by plants in the form of magnesium 2+. As we have seen in the question, it activates the enzyme of respiration, photosynthesis, and also it is involved in the synthesis of DNA and RNA. Magnesium is the constituent of the ring structure of the chlorophyll. This is the reason for the ring structure of the chlorophyll, and also it maintains the ribosome structures. If it is deficient in plant, we can see by the symptoms, that is intervenial chlorosis, necrosis, anthocyanin, that is the leaves will be turned into purple color, and sundown of tobacco. So the answer is A, and assertion and reason are true, and R is not the correct explanation of A. So assertion and reason are correct, but the reason is not the correct explanation of assertion. Consider the following statements regarding the factors affecting photosynthesis. So they are given two statements. Statement 1 is oxygen is the most limiting factor for photosynthesis. The statement 2 is given as if incident light increases beyond certain point, there will be a decrease in photosynthesis. So what is photosynthesis? Carbon dioxide and water in the presence of sunlight synthesize the food products. That is glucose. This is photosynthesis. Normally many factors will influence the rate of photosynthesis, but carbon dioxide is the most limiting factor for photosynthesis, because usually carbon dioxide is available in the atmosphere very small amount, that is 0.03% to 0.04%. If the percentage is increased to 0.05%, the rate of photosynthesis will get increased. But beyond that level, it will result in damages to the plant pots. So the carbon dioxide is the most limiting factor for photosynthesis. So we can eliminate this point. Second point, if incident light increases beyond certain point, there will be a decrease in the photosynthesis. Yes, to certain level, increase in the light will result in the increase in the rate of photosynthesis, but beyond certain level, the rate of photosynthesis will get decreased. But either the concentration of carbon dioxide or the temperature needs to be raised to increase the rate of photosynthesis further. If the light intensity increased, respectively, there should be an increase in carbon dioxide and temperature to increase the rate of photosynthesis. So, this point is correct. So, the answer is 1 is incorrect and 2 is correct. So, other factors which influence the rate of synthesis is, there are some internal factors and external factors. Internal factor means the plant factors which include the number, size, age and orientation of leaves, even the amount of chlorophyll and then chloroplast and internal carbon dioxide concentration. If it is external factor, availability of sunlight, temperature, carbon dioxide concentration and water will influence the rate of photosynthesis.
The correct order of events from fertilization to implantation in a human female is. So, here they are asking the sequence of events happening from fertilization to implantation. So, the correct answer will be option 4, zygote, blastomere, morula followed by blastocyst. I will explain why. So, here we can see in the diagram, once the zygote is formed after fertilization, zygote is formed, this zygote moves along the fallopian tube to get implanted into the uterus. So, this is ovary, this is the fallopian tube. The zygote after fertilization moves along the fallopian tube to get implanted into the uterus. So, before that the zygote will undergo a process called cleavage. That is, it undergoes mitosis to produce various cell stages, 2 cells, 4 cells, 6 cells, 8 cells and it goes on. So, these cells they are called as blastomeres. And once it forms the 8th cell stage, the 8th to 16th cell stage is called as morula. So, the 8th to 16th cell stage is called as morula. This morula gets transformed into blastocyst. This blastocyst has inner cell mass and outer trophoblast layer. So, this blastocyst gets implanted in the uterus. So, the correct order will be zygote, blastomere, morula and blastocyst. So, the correct option will be option 4, zygote, blastomere, morula followed by blastocyst. In class A's, the sex determination mechanism and chromosome designation of females are. So, the keywords here are class A's. In class A's, the sex determination mechanism and chromosome designation of females are. So, they are asking about the sex determination mechanism and chromosome designation of females in class A's, that is birds. So, here the correct answer will be option 3, female heterogamety ZW. I will explain it why. So, we all know that the sex determination mechanism is divided into 2 different types, homogamety and heterogamety. Heterogamety is divided into male heterogamety and female heterogamety. The male heterogamety is of 2 types, exotype and XY type. Here in male heterogamety, the male organism will form 2 different gametes. So, in exotype, the male will be having only 1 X chromosome, whereas the females will be having 2 X chromosomes. In XY type, the male will be having X chromosome and Y chromosome. Females will be having similar 2 X chromosomes. Okay? So, the example for exotype is grasshopper and the example for XY type is human beings and Drosophila. This is called as male heterogamety because the male will be forming the different gametes, whereas female will be forming similar gametes. Whereas in female heterogamety, the male will be having they will be forming similar gametes, they will be having similar chromosomes. They are designated as ZZ, whereas the females will be having different chromosomes, they will be forming different gametes. So, this is called as female heterogamety. This type of sex differentiation is found in birds, that is class A's. So, the correct option will be option 3, female heterogamity and the designation is, chromosome is designated as ZW. A state of complete physical, mental and social well-being and not merely an absence of disease is called as. So here they are asking a definition. A state of complete physical, mental and social well-being and not merely an absence of disease is called as, the option will be, correct option will be option 1, health. So this is the correct definition of health according to WHO. You have to remember this. Coming to other options, the definition of other options are given here. So you can see, what is homeostasis? The ability or tendency of an organism to control and maintain a constant or same internal environment. So the key word here is internal environment. The ability of the organism to maintain a constant internal environment is called as homeostasis. Next, hemostasis. So hemostasis is different from homeostasis. Hemo means blood. Stasis means to stop. So stoppage of blood. The mechanism by which the body stops bleeding to prevent constant loss of blood is known as hemostasis. So you should not get confused with these two terms. And the last one, immunity. We all know that it is the ability of the organism to fight the disease causing organism conferred by the immune system of the body. So this is called as immunity. So for this question, the answer will be option 1, health.